Hello students, I am Vasantha Parmar from St. Joseph's Convent Senior Secondary School, Ratlam. Hope children you all are fine and you must be busy with your studies as you are in class 12th. And we praise the Lord that even we know that we are facing right now COVID-19 pandemic, but God has protected us and we praise and thank Lord for this grace and let's hope for the best. So here I am again to begin the lessons. But before I begin the new chapter, I would like to revise whatever I have taught in the month of April and May. So let's begin. The first poem from the book Flamingo, My Mother at 66. Before I begin the poem, I would like to brief you about the poet. This poet, she is poetess Kamala Das, and she is an Indian English poet and leading Malayalam author from Kerala. She is famous for her short stories and autobiographies. She is a sensitive writer, one who captures the complex subtleties of human relationships in lyrical idiom. Right? She is very sentimental and she always likes to write about the complex subtleties of the human relationships. And the best example we can have this poem, that is My Mother at 66. This poem speaks about the relationship between daughter and mother. We know mother is the head of the family, though father is the head of the family, but we know that without mother, one day if mother is not there at home, we know the situation. So we all love our mothers, right? So this is the this poem is with regard to mother and daughter relations. Here, critical analysis, what this poem speaks about, right? So this is poignant poem about a daughter's love for her sick mother. Her mother is sick and she is approaching old age. She's just sad, poignant poem, very sad and poem about a daughter's love for her sick mother. She reminisces the precious moments spent with her mother during her childhood. When she was a child, obvious mother was very young and pretty, energetic. So all those moments at this juncture when her mother has already approached old age, she just recollecting all these good memories. This poem also speaks about advancing age and fear of loss and separation. We know that Shakespeare speaks about 7 stages of life, right? A human being, a man, passes through all the 7 stages, starting from infant to the old age. When the child is young, energetic, right? We all love the children. But it doesn't mean that the same child, if the child reaches to the old age, right? The separation from that person, it is really very painful. So this poem also speaks about advancing age, right? No one can escape from this, and fear of loss and separation. No one wants to leave our near and dear ones. No one wants to separate from our near and dear ones. And loss of beauty and charm and approaching death, which is inescapable. We can't escape, right? Once when person is young, person may be charming, right? Beautiful, pretty, energetic. But the same person when he reaches to the old age, it's obvious that that charm, that beauty, the person may not have. The person will not have. So it's the same. So loss of beauty. This poem also speaks about loss of beauty and charm in approaching death. Now let's see the summary of the poem. As I have already told you, aging is an inescapable phase of every human's life. Yes, no one can escape from this, right? A person enters their childhood, experiences adolescence when they are energetic and have so many dreams. Finally, every person approaches their old age, then they die. Right? It is a common phenomenon of the life. Relationships between people become much stronger in every phase of life. You can't deny that when child only we love child more. Doesn't mean, right? It is not so. So in every stage, people love the relationships between people that become much stronger, faithful. No one can't bear the separation from the loved ones just because of aging. So you can't say the aging is the only reason that we don't love our near and dear ones. Fine. So no one can bear the separation. Loss and separation is very, very difficult to bear it. So now what this poem is written in free verse. Please take note. There is no proper rhyming scheme is used in this poem. It is one single line the poem is written, but very meaningful. How the poem begins. In the beginning of the poem, the first, when the author, that is the poet, going to the Cochin airport with her mother, she is in car and she is driving, right? And mother is sitting beside her. She looks at her carefully and she just look at her mother because mother is also driving along with her, and she looks at her mother very carefully and just presents before us her image. So the first few lines speaks about how mother looks when she is driving with the poet. How does she look? As she looks at her mother's soft and wittish face, she gets stuck with the fear of losing her mother. Means her mother sitting with keeping her mouth open, right? Almost she is oblivious around the world. She doesn't know what's going on around the world. She is just like simply pale face, very weak, old age. So she just sleepy. Okay. So her mother with a sleepy face and open mouth is comparable to a corpse. Here the first line. Mother's face is compared with a corpse. Corpse means dead body. Means mother seems like dead. Okay, she is almost like approaching old age. So mother's face is compared with corpse, that is dead body. Here the author shows love and affection in a relationship between a mother and a daughter. When she looks at mother, she feels very pain. It is very painful for her to find her mother in such condition. Then what happens when such condition? It is obvious, right? When we see our near and dear ones in painful condition, we too feel it is painful for us. So the poet is hurt and sad and shifts her attention outside the car for driving out the undesirable feelings. She doesn't want to carry this thought in her mind while driving. So what did she do? She just now this is say there are two situations. Inside the car, the situation is very serious, somber, you see. And when she doesn't want to carry this thought, right, long time. So just live there and there, and she just looks outside the car window. She changes her bad mood, right? Inside the car, the mood is bad. The scene from the window of the car is of rising life and energy, full of life, full of energy, full of vitality, right? Vivacity, zeal, enthusiasm. Why? Because the fast sprinting green and huge trees. Sprinting here refers to racing past the car. When you drive the car, you know that the tree seems running very fast. Because outside the car, the fast sprinting green and huge trees alongside the cheerfully playing kids represent life, youth and vitality. So there are children coming out from their home and playing. She finds this outside the car and trees racing past. So these two are imagery poet has used in the poem, and the poet wants to say that outside the car, the scene is full of life, energy, enthusiasm and vitality, zeal. The poet here is remembering about her own childhood. What does she remember? In her childhood, her mother was young and beautiful. Whereas now her mother is surrounded by the fear of losing her life, and that made her insecure and sad. So, what made poet exactly insecure and sad and feeling painful? She doesn't want to lose her mother. Once her mother was very young, beautiful, and now her mother is approaching old age, and she knows that she is not going to live anymore. I mean, she is. Then she reaches the airport to take her flight. It shows departure and parting, which makes her sad. So now the time has come for her to depart from her mother. She already has reached the airport, right? So now she has to say the goodbye to her mother. So as she said goodbye to her mother, the image of the old mother in the dusk of years strikes her. Dusk of years means like going down, the years are going down, and now she is totally approaching. She has already approached the old age. Almost she is at the verge of dying. Here her mother's face is compared with the late winter's moon. Right? Now there are two similes used. First few lines, mother's face is compared with the dead body corpse, and here her mother's face is compared with the late winter's moon. We know late winter time when the moon appears, moon seems very dull, pale, right? Weak. So her mother's face is again compared with the late winter's moon. The poet is now feeling the pain of getting separated because of leaving her mother. Right? So her childhood fear of losing her loving mother now becomes so terrifying. Now see, one thing we have to know it here. The poet has the fear of losing her mother since her childhood. Please remember this. We know that once we take birth, one or the other day we have to depart from this world, depart from our near and dear ones. Fine, it is not in our hand. So this fear of losing her mother, she has been carrying since her childhood. This is her childhood fear. Thus, what she does? She offers her farewell to her old mother and keeps her hope of seeing her mother alive again. She wants to depart from her mother with an optimistic note, with an positivity, with hope to meet soon. So what she says? She says, "See you soon, Amma. We will meet soon." She hides her tears and sorrow as she does not want to make a painful and emotional environment. Her heart is very heavy. She is carrying very pain of leaving her mother, departing from her mother. But she doesn't want to show it to her mother. She wants to depart from her mother, leave from her mother with an optimistic note. Moreover, she doesn't want her mother to cry and shows her that she is enjoying her life. She expects her mother to be happy and enjoy her life just like her. That's what the message here, that even if she is very painful, but she doesn't want to depart with the same mood. She wants to leave her mother also in a happy note and herself also. That's why she says, "See you, Amma, soon." Now, conclusion. The poem is very short. Now, I hope you must have followed it. Once again, you go through the poem in the textbook. Read this, listen this video one or twice. You will definitely follow, I hope. To conclude, we can say, My Mother at 66 summary revolves around the beautiful relationship between the poet and her mother, daughter and mother. This shows the theme of the advancing age of the mother of the author and fear of loss and separation. So this apparently short poem touches upon the theme of a beautiful bond between the mother and the daughter. It shows how beautiful a relationship a mother and daughter can have. So I hope this I had already taught in the month of April, but this is a kind of revision, but then too I explained in detail. So now poetic devices from this poem, there are very few. Simile, two places poet has used the simile. One, face ashen like that of a corpse. Poet is comparing her mother's face with that of a corpse, means dead body. And at the last line, the poet compares wan pale as late winter's moon. Wan means again weak, pale, right? Very weak. Her mother's face is very compared with the late winter snows. These two similes are there. As I told you, imagery, trees sprinting, right? Racing past trees, right? When she is driving the car and when she just looks outside the car window, what does she find? She finds trees are racing past the car, right? Speedy car. Here I have few questions are there. I would like to discuss with you, and I request children. See now the it's a hard time for you. Already the month of June we have started, and we it is unexpected. I know, though we are expecting that school will reopen soon, but we don't know. Everything is the situation is like we can't say anything certain. But still, I request you to please make a fair copy and just note down the questions and answers as well. I just discuss with you in short. You would be able to. I am sure that you will be able to write it down. So these are not the questions which are given in the textbook. Apart from that, I have taken few more questions. The text questions which are given in the textbook that you will definitely do, but these are other than that. What were the poet's feelings at the airport? How did she hide them? Okay. How, say here, what are the main points? You may write the poet experiences the pain, and we can say ache, pain of seeing her sick mother, right? We can also add the agony of thinking about her mother's inevitable death, right? Inevitable, unavoidable death. And it is very difficult for her, right, to come to terms with the thought itself, right? The sense, what thought? Sense of loss and separation. So, which brings her intense grief and sadness. How did she hide? She did not cry, right? She just cried within. She did not cry, and she just departed from her mother with a happy note. Why are the young trees described as sprinting? See, the young trees are a total contrast to the poet's sick mother, like sitting inside the car. As I told you, inside the car, the condition is very serious, somber. Whereas outside the car, it is contrast. First and foremost, it is a contrast. Second, we can say when she just looks out of the moving car, right? For her, the trees seem to be racing past. So, what does this tree symbolize here? Please take note. Trees symbolize youth and energy as contrasted to old age and sickness. Right? Third question. Why has the poet brought in the image of merry children spilling out of their homes? Why she has brought this image? What is the reason? Because the image of merry children pouring out, like coming out of their homes to play, has been brought to intersperse the mood of sadness, right? To break the mood of sadness. Because the poet was very sad looking at her mother while driving. She did not want to carry this thought in her mind for a long time. So, in order to intersperse the mood of sadness, old age, and sickness, the poet has brought the thought of image of merry children spelling. Spelling means coming out of their homes. What do the parting words of the poet and her smile suggest, signify? Just now we have, just before a few seconds, we have seen that. What is that? What does it suggest? Optimism, we can say, reassurance, right? Smile is a sign of reassurance, you may write. Optimistic note. Hope of meeting her again, right? With the hope, right? She smiles, smiles, and smile. That is there in the book. You can see it. So these are the 4 questions I have given. Other than this, there are textbook questions answers are also there. Please, children, make a fair copy. Start writing this. Note down each and every point. And if any doubt, you can contact me. So God bless each one of you, and enjoy your studies, children. Take your studies very seriously, irrespective of all the subjects. Okay, so including English language. Thank you, children. Bye. God bless you once again.